So these are our variables. This is used to create a frame. One panel, 10 buttons, buttons A through G, a send button, a clear button, and a reset button, one text field, one label, and a counter to keep track of the number of buttons we've pressed. This is used to make the frame visible. Here we are giving the buttons, the image, and the text values, as well as naming them. And we are also importing a picture from our folder called diagram 4B. Here we are creating the panel. Here we are creating the window, setting the title, making the dimensions. Here we are positioning and sizing the buttons, the image, and the text field. Here we are assigning the buttons to the functions. And here we are adding the buttons, image, and text field to the panel. And here is where we're actually adding functions to the buttons. So first for button A, whenever A is the first button clicked on, it will return green. Green is the source station. If it's clicked as the second button, then it will turn orange, or the destination station. For this code, whenever you click the button again, it will turn back to its default color, or it's like a deselect button, a function. So basically we apply this code to every other buttons, A through G. And this is where we implement the function for the send button. So here, if two stations or buttons are connected to the same port, both return back to default color, or else it discards the frame. So, for example, A, B, and C are of the same port. D, E, F, and G are of the same port. So let's say we want to send a frame from station A to station B. It will discard that port, turning them both into the default color. Here, if count equals 2, that means that if the two buttons are from different ports, then all the stations will get flooded except the source button or stations. So for example, it will be click A as our first selection, then D from a different port, and it will flood this port except for this port, because these D, E, F, and G are of that same port, but A, B, and C are of the same port as well. So these are not flooded, but these are. Here is just vice versa. So for example, let's say we want to send a frame from D to A. These A, B, and C will be flooded, but D, E, F, and G will not be flooded. Here, this is after the flood, or if count is greater than 2. So after the flood, the two stations should connect properly. So for example, we want to send a frame from A to E. It will flood this, but not this. Then next time, when you send again, it should connect properly. And then we just apply that for every combination possible. Next is the clear button. All it does is clear the colors, but to the point before the flood, without resetting before the flood. So let's flood it and clear it. All it does is reset the color. But what the reset button does is it clears the colors and resets to before the flood. So let's flood it and then reset. Then it should flood again. There. Now onto the actual program. In a LAN network with bridges, it follows a procedure, and the procedures are if the port for the destination address is the same as the port, discard the frame. If the port for the destination address and the port and the source port are different, forward the frame onto the destination. If the port is unknown, use flooding and send the frame on all ports except the source port. So I showed it already, but let's go through it all at once. So let's say we want to send a frame from A to C. They are of the same port, so it should discard. Now let's say we want to send a frame from station B to station G. But G is, let's say that the port of G is unknown, so it should flood this whole port, but not this port. Now the next time you send a frame from B to G, it should connect. And it connects. And that is how a LAN with bridges work.